For many homeowners, soil fertility might seem a bit of an abstract concept. At its heart, it's just the ability of a soil to provide essential plant nutrients to plants. But it might not be as distant of a concept as they might think. You see, people in the US really love to have a green lawn and a lush garden. And that requires that essential plant nutrients are available to the plants. That is nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. And every year people spend gobs of money hiring landscapers to come out and spread fertilizer over their garden beds and especially their lawns. And these landscapers aren't just treating the plants, but they're really or compensating or putting a band-aid over the soil because it's deficient in its ability to provide nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium to the plants. This video about the source of plant nutrients is for those people, homeowners who want to have a lush garden and a green lawn. By the end of the video, you should be able to understand where plant nutrients come from and how to maintain healthy concentrations of them in your yard and in your garden. Major plant nutrients include nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. When you see landscapers spreading fertilizer, the pellets falling to the ground contain these chemicals in various concentrations. Naturally, these chemicals find their way to the soil in other ways. Nitrogen and phosphorus primarily come to the soil from decaying organic matter. Think compost. Potassium, though, is a little different. Potassium comes to the soil by way of weathering minerals. Think about rocks breaking up into smaller rocks. As that happens, some potassium-containing minerals release this potassium to the soil. Sometimes applying fertilizer is very, very important. The soil can't always provide the necessary concentrations of nutrients to the plants when the plant demands them. There's a lot of reasons for that. For instance, the nitrogen cycle is very complicated. From one point of the year to the next, the concentration of nitrogen could change significantly. Potassium is much more stable in the soil, but it's actually very immobile and sometimes it can't get to the plant. That's because your soil is full of iron, and when potassium touches iron, it sticks to it, and it can't move to the roots of the plant. And in that case, fertilizer is very useful. There's another way though. Adding organic matter, such as compost, can go a long way to improving the overall nutrient concentration, specifically for nitrogen and phosphorus of your soil. There's a lot of ways to do that. You can add compost. You can add leaf clippings from your grass, or in the fall, instead of raking your leaves, you could mulch it and let that decompose. As the compost or leaves or whatever have you decompose, nitrogen and phosphorus will be released. As I said earlier, potassium is sourced primarily from soil minerals, so adding compost won't help that. However, in Ohio soils, we have a lot of potassium, and the application of potassium fertilizer is less relevant. If you want to increase the plant nutrients, such as nitrogen and phosphorus, of your soil, but you don't want to add mineral fertilizer, try adding organic matter. But if you're going to do this, you need to understand the baseline organic matter of your soil. And there's a lot of ways you can do this. You could simply take a soil sample, send it to a lab, pay some money, and they'll send you the results. But you could also simply look at the color of the soil. If you've ever looked at a soil from a forest, such as this one, you'll see that it's dark in color. That's because there's a lot of organic matter. This soil here is a light color, and it probably has less organic matter. We can't know for sure because we haven't tested it, but it's a good indication. So if your soil, if your plants are looking sickly, they look like they're not as vibrant as they could be, and you're thinking of fertilizing, consider just adding compost. Consider mulching. This might be a good solution to getting the nutrients to your soil.